All right, welcome back, everyone. So I said last time we would go ahead and code up our new animation controller with our overrides and whatnot, but we actually need to hook this up to a model first and get some animation clips in there. So let me do that first. So pop back over to one of my test scenes, which will be my combat arena, and I'm going to go ahead and get my object pool appenders that has. Actually, I left this in here. I need to make a prefab out of my skeleton so I can go ahead and spawn him for my future tests. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and just use the forest bunny as my enemy spawn. So let's see here. We got yellow B1. I think the enemy itself, and I need to actually write these down somewhere outside of my code. Well, I mean, when I move this crap out to a SQLite database or something like that, I'll have an easier way to look this crap up. Gray Bunny 1 is the name of the key. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to kill my stationary enemy for the moment. And we'll go ahead and add our gameplay objects. Player is somewhat positioned. And we'll go ahead and put the player a little further out here. Yeah, so that's fine. So for our bunny, this guy, we have our Forest Bunny animation controller, which has a mechanism animation, enemy animation controller. And in our enemy animation controller here that we're going to want to use, let's go ahead and create a new override. Where are you at? Animation override controller, and this will be Forest Bunny animation controller. Our controller will be the common enemy animation controller. And crap. Okay, so that's a problem. I have to provide clips to override. I have to provide actual motions in here. I didn't know that. Well, there's an easy way to solve that. Maybe. Let's create an animation clip. And let's go ahead and take a look at our controller here. Yeah, so I can replace that with the actual bunny's die animation clip. So now I have to do this real quick. Crap. Alright. Let's see. Run. Walk. Jump. Spellcast, specials, hit, fall down, get up, die, walk, jump, run, sleeping. Yeah. Oh my god, is this seriously gonna make me skip back and forth all the time? Actually, I guess I can just lock the window there. Yeah, that works. Attack 1. Attack 2. And attack 3. Spellcast. Special attack 1. Special attack 2. And special attack 3. Let's just go back over them, make sure. Oh, he's idle also, I forgot. There we go. Now for our override. We got all these here. Let's lock the inspector and pop on down here to our enemy models. Or rather, our actual models. So Force Bunny animations. We've got our attack 1. Actually, here we go. So yeah, so oh, damn it. Oh man. All right. Animations. Idle. So we got our attack. Die. Hop, which is going to be our walk. Idle. And take damage, which will be our hit. And there's no other special attacks or anything like that. So we'll start from there with our bunny rabbit. Our scene has our bunny, he's going to spawn out. And our bunny prefab. Is going to have our new animation controller. Model information remains the same. And we have this Forest Bunny animation controller, which we've got this Mechanim enemy animation controller, which has been kind of our basis for a lot of things. And this is very clearly tuned towards our common animation controller, right? That was what I called it, right? I just called it the enemy animation controller. Yeah. Alright, so, and he wires up our, like all of our other enemy animation controllers, he wires up the animation, or the events from the movement controller, the battle behavior, and the enemy. And based on the events fired, we play our different animations. So the trick is going to be, though, that certain enemies don't have certain animations, right? So we can only go down certain states based on which enemy it is. Well, first off, let's make sure we're covered on our enums here. So we've got idle, walk, run. I'm going to reorder these. Jump, sleeping, attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, hit, die, fall down, get up, yeah, hit, die, fall down, get up, attack 1, 2, 3, special attack 1, 2, 3, spell cast, idle. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's fix some of these. There we go. Except that most of the classes are going to go away in a few minutes. All right, so let's come back here. So we got our forest bunny animation controller. We have our mechanism enemy animation controller. Pin those. Close all but pinned. Clean that out a little bit. And I will be back in 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. So, what we want to do is we're going to do a little review of these animation controllers and, just make sure that we're kind of covered on everything. So, for my enemy animation controller, this is just about calling these potentially overridden methods, right? These unhooks, these play idles, these play attack. And that these are driven from the battle behavior itself is tying the battle behavior to the animation. Which, I mean, given that it's just doing a one attack, like that's fine. But I think I'm going to end up needing a way to map which attacks, like once the enemies do different attacks, like they might have a regular or strong or using a skill or spell or, something else. I need a way to map that to the animation via the battle behavior telling me about the type of attack and then having some kind of cross-reference between that to the animation, which will differ on a per enemy basis. I think that cross-reference will exist outside of this setup. Like that might be in my, I might put that in the database. Like I'm not sure. But I think for now, so we've got our abstract guys here. Idle animation name, walk animation name, all this stuff. And our mechanism animation, enemy animation controller is defined now to use the common enemy animation controller. And if I do end up with a drastically different animation controller, I'll probably rename this to signify the controller it's using and make a split. We have play and wait until finish, which just takes the state name and this enum. And passing both those in was only a factor of it actually having potentially different state names depending on the enemy. I don't need that anymore since the state name will always be die. So first things first, we need to define our animation state names based on the enum. These are literally all just the same exact names as the states themselves. Fall down, die, hit, attack 1, 2, 3, spell cast, walk, jump, run, sleeping, special attack 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so forget that. Forget that, and we can go ahead and forget the animation names as well. I think. Because what we are ending up with is that our state names are also going to just be this, .toString. Not info dot is name. The other aspect of this is going to be gating off the different animations depending on the enemy itself, which I might expose that as checkboxes in the editor and just put the checks on it for whether the bunny can run or whether it does this or whether it does that. You know, can the rabbit run versus the bee? Does it have a different animation for going faster or jumping or things like that? And then I can, or rather, actually, rather than defining that as checks here in the enemy animation controller, I can define that in something like my equipment check that I wrote earlier for, you know, getting certain bones. I could put that as part of the enemy information with the model or whatever. Like, does the enemy support jumping or support other different behaviors? And then I can, you know, read that in my AI to determine if that's a viable action for maneuvering or whatever. So yeah, previously I was determining that by whether I provided a run animation name. Like, do I call play run from anywhere? The answer is no. No, I'm not even sure this is required anyways, because as I found out before, you know, I was having scenarios where I was calling things before the switch had taken place, and I was skipping over animation transitions because of these checks. Because like I was going between one to the other back within like a frame or two of animation, and it wasn't enough time for the state transition to occur. So I was getting a check for, is it doing the walking animation when visually the walking, or rather logically, it wasn't, and it was switching to the animation that I was trying to switch back from before that animation had even started. If that list of words made sense. So, for example, it was, let's say, for example, it was switching to run and then back again, logic in the code before the transition to run had actually occurred. So it would go to run, and then because I'd already tried to go back to walk and it hadn't changed, the state machine here was never told to go back to walk. So it just stayed on run. And then alternately, the initial reason I put these checks into place, the idea that calling play animation with those variables would cause the clip to just loop back from the beginning, didn't actually occur. So I'm thinking maybe I don't even need these. So let's go ahead and just comment these out actually. And we'll see if somewhere in the middle I don't actually end up needing those. Either way though, I got an ass load of errors here because of all these overrides. Let's just comment these out. Come back to that skeleton animation controller since now it's a proper mechanism animation. Actually. Since I don't actually want to screw around with this too much. There we go. Now those are gone. Let's close all but the pinned again, because I really only care about these three classes for the moment. Enemy animation controller. And I've got these couple of abstracts, right? Run, walk, idle, attack, take damage, and play die. and die rather. These all override. This one does a start coroutine with the death sequence because I need to wait for the animation to be finished. I've got this play animation abstract, which is not going to be abstract anymore. Actually, I'm not even going to make it virtual. We are going to switch anim state, and we're going to go ahead and set our bools and triggers. So for idle, clear parameters, walk is true. Actually, if we're going to play walk, run is going to be false, walk is going to be true. Set trigger jump. Sleep. Sleep will be true. And for all the rest of these, we're just going to set triggers. Hit. Die. Fall down. Oh. This guy's going to be a bool. Get up is going to be fall down false. Attack 1, 2, 3, special attack 1, 2, 3, and spellcast. These are really all actually there's a very very simple one here. This dot anim set trigger anim state dot toString. For default, since attack 1, 2, 3, special attack 1, 2, 3, spellcast, die, hit, jump. Yeah, really all of my triggers are just the same name as the existing state. All right. That's just default. Yeah. So that should work out. This no longer exists. And now my derived class is completely empty. What's everything else yelling about? See, if I was smart, I would have created a new class for my mechanism animation controller and just left this all alone. Actually, I haven't closed this yet, so I could still do that. Let's do that. There we go. If I was smart, I would have done this from the start. And I don't need to worry about this crap. Oops. Didn't mean to hit F12. What's this yelling about? Oh. Oh, man. Still gotta change these. And 0 errors. All right, good. Once again, we'll close all but the pinned ones. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at things and make sure we're settled up with our bunny. So animator is our correct animator. Yeah, we should be fine on that front. So let's go ahead and see what happens. He looks to be sort of animating. Let's see him walk a little bit more. Only... Oops. Run true, run false. Walk true, walk false. And just because apparently I eyeballed some stuff wrong. Yeah. Die doesn't return. Hit. Returns on end time unless fall down is true. I want to evaluate that first. Fall down is true. From idle, we go there. It goes to get up if fall down is false. Get up plays, and on the end time, returns back. Attack 1, trigger, end time. Attack 2, trigger, end time. Attack 3, end time. Spellcast, end time. Yeah, special 1, special 2, and special 3. Sleeping. True and false. Okay. Let's take a look at that again. And it's got loops set up. Let's try a fight. Now he's in a walk animation for some reason. So it clears animation. Before I was clearing all the animation parameters before attacking, hitting, and dying and all that. Before setting any of the triggers. We are pretty delayed on that. What is going on? This rabbit's freaking nuts. I don't know what it's doing. Hmm. I mean, looking at the animation controller, I'm not sure what exactly to infer from this. Let's look at the previous controller and see if there's any noticeable differences that I can see. Because it's almost like it's waiting for the animation to finish before moving on to the next state, which I didn't think was the default behavior of anything. But let's just see. Let's take a look. So I'm noticing this has exit time is not checked for any of the transition going to. Has exit time. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, so that has exit time checkbox on the transition determines if the transition state can, or the state can only transition during the period of time, during this this little bit of time on the animation, or if we could transition from the beginning of the animation clip or the end of the animation clip or whatever. So let's see if that doesn't solve our problem. So really, it's true. So for instance, we can start walking or start hopping at any time during our idle animation, but I only want to return to idle at the end of the walk animation when the bunny's back on the ground. I'm okay with that from there. I think for jump, I might want, yeah. I don't care about interrupting jump or interrupting a walk or run animation with jumping. Sleeping, also, we'll go ahead and do that. We can go back to idle at any point. Die. Yeah, pretty much every transition away from idle I want to allow to happen at any time. I don't care what position of the animation of idle that we're in when an action is performed. So let's see what happens. Where are you at, bunny? There, bunny, bunny, bunny. Yeah, hop around like a little idiot. There we go. That's looking a little bit... Except for the part where it's still walking. Even though walk is off. Let's take another look at that rabbit animation controller. Yes, this also doesn't have an exit time on it. Attack does. Take damage does. How long of a clip is this? It's one hop. And it's 25 frames of animation. So it's half a second long. "24 seconds, yeah. Or sorry, that's frames, not seconds. Either way, running at 60 frames a second, it's still like half a second long. Oh my god, I'm also an idiot. Transitions back on walk true. Come on. Ah, jeez Louise. Pay more attention, folks. Run true, run false, jump trigger, walk true, it goes back here. Run true, it goes back to run. If run is false, it goes back to walk. If walk is false, it goes back to idle. The only other one is sleeping, true, goes back on false. And fall down. Fall down, true. Fall down, false, it goes to get up. And get up ends, it goes there. Okay, geez Louise, folks. And it goes to show you, you got to pay careful attention to what you're looking at. So there we go. It ended on the hop, and he's looking around. He's going to start hopping again when he goes to walk. I'm going to go get in a battle, and he's going to stop because we cleared the parameters. Get hit, die, boom. The attack delay is the delay between the time that the QTE ends and he attacks is something I already had existing. The solution to that's going to be I need to figure out how to determine... I need to tie the attack animation start time to the point in time that the circles... Like, there's a distance on the circles where the enemy needs to start attacking so the attack lands when the circles are over top of each other. And that's when I need to actually start the animation. But that's still a task on my list to do. So I'm not, really worrying about that yet. Either way, though, that looks like it works perfectly fine. So on that note, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys later.